How gozaimasu shreddheads. Today I wanted to talk to you about how to practice guitar effectively. I've been playing guitar since 1999 and I've been practicing a lot since then, and this last year has been the most impactful practice year of my entire life, and that's because I had to go completely back to the drawing board, really just create a system for myself that actually worked and was very potent. You see, I would practice hours and hours a day, and I got somewhat good, but it wasn't enough where it was compensating for the hours I put into it, and it really beat me up over the years. And over this last year, I just said, you know what, I'm starting from scratch. We're starting from rock bottom. I'm gonna build a system that actually works for me. I read a lot of magazines over the years about how to play slow and move the metronome up as time goes on, and that's all good advice, but the problem I always had was I would just speed it up faster and faster. I didn't really understand the core mechanism at play when it came to practicing. Almost every skill you do with your hands is all about muscle memory. There are a lot of guitarists out there that will touch on muscle memory, especially with those guitar magazines I just recently talked about. They will touch on muscle memory, but they will never go really deep into it. And that's what I really was craving when it came to building a system that worked for me. And it's all about muscle memory, because the better you understand muscle memory, the easier it will be to get better at guitar. And it will be a lot easier for you to not make as many mistakes. And this has been maybe the biggest thorn in my side when it comes to practicing and playing guitar. I tried so hard for so long, and I just was not getting the results I wanted. But since I created this system, it's been kind of like a reawakening for myself, and I wish I knew this like 10 years ago. So I'm making this video for the rest of you guys so that you don't spend the next 10 years just playing in circles like I have. So here's what I do for practicing now. First thing you need is a guitar, amp, a timer like this. I got this one at Walmart back in a million years ago, in prehistoric age. And you need a metronome. I use this one on my phone. It's a Pro metronome. It's good and cheap, and it works well, and does weird rhythms as well if you buy the advanced version. That's all you really need. The next thing is the core concept of muscle memory, and when you look further and further into muscle memory, you will realize it's all about consistency. It's not about the hours you put into the guitar itself. It is all about consistency. Can you do this every single day? Can you do this right every single day? What you want to aim for when you practice something is ideal. You want it to be perfect, but that's not realistic. And so I always think of ideal, which is 90% and above. If you're making any mistakes that are below 90%, you want to slow it down, no matter what you're doing. If you're practicing guitar and you're making mistakes, slow it down. If you're playing guitar and just improvising and you're making mistakes, slow it down. You always want to be slowing it down when you're making crazy amounts of mistakes, because your muscle memory is always watching you. I know that's scary, but you want to always slow it down and play as ideally as possible. The thing is, when you're playing slow, your muscle memory is building because it likes consistency. The more consistent you are with the way you play a certain lick, the more it will lock in and become a permanent asphyxiation in your brain of how to play that exact lick or those exact chords. And any deviation from that is really going to make it harder for your muscle memory to latch on to. And I find that just practicing, if you have a big list of things you want to practice, like chords or sequences, licks, anything really, you want to just play them about 3 to 5 minutes a day and just go down the list. That's all you have to do. You don't have to practice hours and hours like I think it would help if you're trying to get where you want to be way faster. Your practice has to be about consistency. Consistently and playing as ideal as possible. The biggest problem I see, especially when it came to me practicing, is you would get bored after a while. You're like, I've been playing the same thing for the same tempo for the same amount of weeks. I can see that I'm slightly getting better at this, but I'm not like at super shredder level when it comes to this certain lick I'm playing, and you will move up on the metronome. I think it's detrimental for you if you are making crazy amounts of mistakes and moving up the metronome. This is what I did for years, and it's totally the worst thing you can do. What I do now is I stay at the same tempo, and I try to stay at like a moderate tempo, somewhere around like, I don't know, 120 beats per minute, something around there where you're just playing it kind of, something like that kind of tempo. And you just want to keep doing that until you get faster and faster. And even then, you can still keep playing at that tempo. It's a big myth that you have to move up on the metronome to get fast. Your speed is not connected with the metronome. Your speed is connected with your muscle memory. So you will naturally get faster no matter what speed you're working at. And even if you can't play at that moderate tempo, you want to play slower than that moderate tempo. So what I will do is I will aim to get to that moderate tempo, and then I will start slowly and then build up to that moderate tempo until I can play it perfectly, ideally at that moderate tempo. And then once a week, I will just go balls to the wall and test how fast I can play that lick without a metronome, without any of that stuff. I just play free form and see how fast my muscle memory can do it. And if I can't play it like shredder speed that week, then I continue on with the practice. Also, another big thing I do now is I take weekends off of practice. I only practice on the weekdays. When I used to practice religiously, it used to be 7 days a week. But the thing is, you get so, like, I think the rest period really helps a ton, because you get so sick of doing it every single day. And I think it's just mentally healthy for me to just take a rest period off of it. I have other disciplines I do on the weekend, but practicing guitar is not it. So what you want to do is just have like weekdays or something, and then take a couple days off and then come back to it. You want to be very structured and disciplined about your practice. I think that's the most important thing, other than consistency and playing as ideally as possible. But I would say try this out and see if it works for you. It's taken me forever to freaking come up with this system, and it's paid off a ton. I've probably made way more progress this year than I have in the last 10 years. And that's because I finally just sat down and I'm like, you know what is the core of this? How do I actually make progress myself? I have to critically think of this and actually make this happen, because I'm sick of the excuses. I'm sick of thinking of this as something I can't do. And so I had to really just sit down and really make it happen. And this system made it happen for me. And I'm really happy that it has. And I can't wait to see the progress I make in the future. Also, there are things that will take months and months to get down. It depends wholly on what you practice the most. I practiced lead guitar most of my life, and the lead stuff, it will come way faster than the stuff that I neglected over the years, which was chords. There are chord things that I'm playing and practicing now that I'm only slightly getting faster at now after like 6 months, and that's because I've never been a chord guy. But after you get those initial types of licks down, like the complex chord things, or the Jimi Hendrix chord things, the stuff that I've neglected, it will become faster. Like right now I practice this math rock lick, and it's taken me forever because math rock is completely alien to me. And it has taken me like, I don't know, 6 months to even get maybe 25% faster at it. But I've also became I'm less tense about it. I'm more, I don't think about it as much. It's become more of a subliminal thing to me. And I think that's where that's going. And I feel like once I get that lick down, once I get a lot of these chordal things down, when I do practice another sequence very similar to that, it will be a much faster result. And I can see with lead things, I can get them down much faster than the other things that I neglected over the years, because I focused so much on lead over the years. It's a consistent work. Like, you're consistently working on this every time you pick up the guitar. If you're making a mistake, slow it down. That is the most important thing I have ever learned on guitar. Slow it down when you're making mistakes. Do not barge through. You want this to become an effortless mastery. You don't want this to become something that you have to really try really hard at to do. You just want it to flow out of your fingers, and that's the biggest thing when it comes to practice. And I hope this video helped you a lot. I hope you guys try this out. It's helped me out immensely, and I think this video will help a ton of people out there, and it will save you so much time, effort, energy, and thank you so much for watching.